Can you check if this is live? I didn't know that. I didn't even enter that. All right.
Oh, it remembers.
Hey, Linda, how are you? I'm very sick, so I don't want to.
Okay. I came wanted to say hi.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming. All right, now we're good. Okay, great, thank you.
Yeah.
All right, can you go flag everyone down, let them know we're kicking off? I'm just gonna get some water in a second, and then we'll kick off.
In case there's seizure saved.
Yeah, right there.
Can you check the stream real quick, Max? Just to, I should be sharing my screen. You should be able to hear me, I hope. Grab some water, we'll kick off. Good.
Yeah. Once it's on. Thank you.
Oh.
Yeah. How you doing? Come here, please. Right now. So yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah, we're just waiting on. I saw that. Oh shit. Okay, yeah, that's fine. All right, so that. You guys want to declare? Yeah, they're all. Well, can you just make sure, like, just get them in here? No, but I probably shouldn't. Like pizza, I'll get some after.
I wait till after I get this.
Yeah, yeah. Last time I went to really get some of those pizzas, and I was on like lemon. I hate lemon.
So you didn't like
Think about it.
You're like, she said 30 seconds. So
Okay, 30 seconds. 30 seconds if she's there or not.
yeah. Like,
30 seconds. Just fine. Okay, 30 seconds. Okay, go. Yeah, the same one we always use. Yep. Max, we're live, right? Okay, gotcha. Audio too? I was okay, perfect.
Okay. You guys are set?
Great.
Yep. All right.
Hey guys, how's everyone doing this evening? Pretty exciting evening ahead of us. Thank you all so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. My name is Doug Kersenzi. I'm one of the founders of Hack Upstate. We started Hack Upstate nearly 7 years ago with the underlying mission to help advance upstate New York's technology community. And over the course of those 7 years, we've built a pretty sizable network of a few thousand upstate New York technologists, a few hundred different employers throughout upstate New York, as well as helped to facilitate a few dozen job placements, which we're really proud of. And fast forward to 2019, we've been really fortunate to have this amazing opportunity to stand up a coding boot camp where we can provide software engineering training to hardworking and talented individuals who likely would have had this opportunity otherwise. And for that, we're extremely grateful to Onondaga County, County Executives Ryan McMahon, the Alliance for Economic Inclusion, Center State CEO, and the Tech Garden. Amazing partners, and without them, we wouldn't have been able to do it. So round of applause for them. Yeah, just a couple of quick things before I hand things off to Jesse. So first off, students, guys, man, crazy. 24 weeks, huh? So proud of you guys. It's amazing to see how far you guys have come, how much you've learned. It's evident you guys have tremendous futures ahead of you. And I can't wait to keep tabs on you guys, see what you guys do. And don't forget about me. Next up, the instructors and TAs. I know many of you guys are here today. We've been super fortunate to work with an amazing group of instructors and TAs. Some of the best engineers in the industry have been working alongside us in this program. Not only as educators and working alongside the students, but there's also helped to inform the curriculum, the structure for the program, and much of what we do. So we're extremely grateful to them and all of their hard work as well. And then lastly, I'll hand things over to Jesse here in a second. For those of you guys that don't know, Jesse and I met probably about 5 years ago, I'd say. 2015. Okay, so four and a half years ago. Jesse was a participant in Hack Upstate, an earlier one. He was just a snot-nosed college kid. We got to talking. It was evident to me early on that Jesse was, very talented, very sharp, a leader. We got to talking and maintained a relationship for a number of years. Jesse came on as a partner in Hack Upstate about 1.5 to 2 years ago, and has really taken Careers in Code from ideation to inception and executed all the way through. This is Jesse's baby. He's our fearless leader. He's done an amazing job. So, round of applause. With that said, I'll hand things over to Jesse.
Let's go for Doug. All right, folks. So first and foremost, thank you all so much for coming here today and joining us in this very special celebration with all of our students. My name is Jesse, as Doug said, partner at Hack Upstate. I run a lot of the sort of day-to-day operations for Hack Upstate, Careers in Code, all that fun stuff. I just want to quickly say that this program has been one of the most profound opportunities that I've ever had in my life, both professionally and personally. It's really been really amazing to watch all of our incredible students grow so much over these 24 weeks. And we're so proud of them and how far they've come. Before I go any further, I would like to invite up Ryan McMahon, Onondaga County Executive, to say a couple words here. We're so fortunate to have Ryan joining us here today. And a huge thank you to the Onondaga County and the Alliance for Economic Inclusion. In order to be able to organize, execute, and ultimately finance Careers in Code, it was possible because of Onondaga County and the Alliance for Economic Inclusion. So thank you so much for being here, Ryan, and hand up to you for a couple words.
Great, thanks. Thank you, everyone. Most importantly, congratulations to our graduates. And it's great to have your families here to celebrate this next level of your careers and your success. And to Doug and Jesse, thank you for being pioneers in this ecosystem that we're seeing being created around us and growing every day in downtown Syracuse, right? We're here now in the Tech Garden. This facility a decade ago was not active like it is today, where there's startup companies coming through. There's so many companies that are getting resources, mentoring, companies that start here, get venture capital, and go and employ so many people. And those startup companies are here. and they need you. You're what's going to make them grow and get to the next level. So through the Alliance for Economic Inclusion, we made an investment in Hack Upstate. We made an investment in Jesse and Doug because we knew they could get the job done. And when you look at what we are all about in our administration, we are really focused in on helping our neighbor. And not just our neighbor who's doing well, but our neighbor who isn't doing well. And when we look at poverty, we know that there's 6 areas that need focus. And the main area out of the best way and the pathway out of poverty is a job. So workforce development is key. We made that investment here. We worked with our partners at Lemoyne College with Erie 21 to make sure that they can continue with this innovation. And it's all happening and you're part of it. So we're so happy to be a partner, to fund and invest in you so you can be leaders, so we can continue to grow this tech economy here that we have here. If I didn't have other events today, I would have wore a cool t-shirt so I could have felt like I was part of it. But if you look at the opportunity in front of you, why you're making such a smart decision, I'll let you know this. The jobs of tomorrow are in coding. They're in data analytics, software development, cybersecurity. If you just look at our own community, what's happening when it comes to that, the city school district hacked cybersecurity. Our county library systems, to a much lesser degree, were hacked. In Texas, a coordinated attack on 23 municipalities, hacked. This is what's going on. This is where people will be investing. These are where the jobs will be, and you'll be a big part of that. So thank you all. Congratulations. I look forward to watching your success and you helping to continue to really grow this economy and this ecosystem that's being created by pioneers like Jesse and Doug. So thank you very much.
Let's give it up for Ryan again, guys. Thanks so much, Ryan, for being here. And again, huge thank you to Ryan for being here, and ultimately Onondaga County Alliance for Economic Inclusion for making this program possible. All right, so I'm sure many of us are aware of why we're here today, but just really quickly, ultimately Careers and Code set out to solve 2 problems that Ryan just touched on a little bit here. But first being that the poverty rates in Central New York are quite staggering. So in 2018, Syracuse, New York was named one of the top 10 most impoverished cities all across the United States. To give you some perspective, that's roughly 1 in every 3 people living in poverty here in Syracuse. So we went to try to do what we could to help move the needle and address helping to combat poverty. Secondly, here at the same time, many Central New York employers are struggling to find talent. We sort of have that brain drain problem, right? Where folks will graduate and then far too often they'll move out of state. And so our talent pool simply isn't large enough to support their needs. And so employers must oftentimes outsource or go to third-party consultants and contractors that may operate outside of Central New York. So we want to find a way to help provide a pipeline of talent to those local employers. So I don't know what that, oh, sorry. I just make sure it wasn't us. Sorry. So ultimate solution with this, ultimately the $500 million from the Upstate Revitalization Initiative, and then $30 million of that was earmarked to help fight poverty as part of the Alliance for Economic Inclusion. And again, the Alliance for Economic Inclusion and Onondaga County are what made Careers in Code possible. So really thank them for giving this opportunity to change so many lives here today. Code of conduct, just really quick, we have this in place for all of our events. Give it a read if you haven't, hackupstate.com/conduct. In short, be cool, do the right thing, think before you speak, don't do anything destructive or inflammatory. And if you encounter any issues at all, flag myself, Doug, or Will, or Jason down, or you can email us at team@hackupstate.com. Quick run for the schedule. So I know we're running a little behind here, so I'm really going to try to fly through this. Hopefully we'll get to capstone presentations at 6. And then immediately following that, we'll have our graduation ceremony. And then following that, networking, all that good stuff. Just want to say thank you to the Careers and Code team, first and foremost, Doug Crescenzi, who has been just an amazing partner. Again, this opportunity that I've had has just been mind-blowing. I'm 24 years old, and it's been insane just to have this being so young. So it's been really awesome. It's been a wild ride. So Doug, thank you for giving me the opportunity to do all this and trusting me. Will Gajman. So Will is our intern who consistently blows me away at the hard work that he is putting for this program. Honestly, today's festivities, all Will. No joke. So Will, thank you so much for being so amazing. Will is still in high school. I often forget that. So amazing work, Will. Let's give it up for Will. And last but not least, Jason Scarf, our student success representative, who has worked closely with our students over these past 24 weeks, helping them to navigate any challenges or barriers they might face inside and outside the classroom. So Jason, thank you so much. Really couldn't have done it without you. All right. Hold on 1 second. Sorry. Got to say thank you to our instructors. So as Doug said here, we're so fortunate to have such a robust, amazing network of instructors joining us to ultimately give the students the skills they need for internships and entry-level positions. So these folks are all across the board. We have professors, engineers, designers, entrepreneurs, leaders in our tech communities. They've done so much to support our students over these past 24 weeks. In fact, many of our instructors and teaching assistants have opened up their calendars to set up one-on-one time with all of our students. So that's been really amazing. Whether that be capstone help, problems they're having, questions they have. I want to give a special shout out to Max, who has over the past week, I think had 4 one-on-ones in one day. And I want to say like 20 plus hours over the course of like 3 or 4 days. So that was amazing. And many others as well. But thank you so much to our instructors who have been invaluable in providing us with feedback to ultimately help improve the program as well. Words really can't express how thankful we are, but hopefully a gift in a little while will. So thank you to all the instructors who have made this such an amazing experience for all of our students. Thank you. All right, also got to give it up for our teaching assistants. So we're fortunate to have teaching assistants on board, helping out our students inside and outside of the classroom. Many of our TAs, in fact, as well, also served as instructors and giving guest lectures for our program. So thank you for the TAs for helping to support our students and being amazing. Thank you. Also got to thank our guest speakers. This is a lot of people to fit on one slide. We're very proud of how many folks that we've had to come share their knowledge, their expertise, their stories, their experience. We've had all across the board networking tips, behavior and technical interviewing skills, mock interviews, getting involved in your tech communities, open source development. It's been so awesome. Local employers all across the board here. It's been awesome. So thank you so much to all the guest speakers for coming and sharing knowledge with the students. Give them a big round of applause. Also got to thank Liz of Bangladesh Students in the back. Thanks so much, Liz, for taking photos today and capturing today's festivities. Liz also gave professional headshots to our students 2 weeks ago, I think. So thank you again, Liz, for doing all that. Really appreciate it. Got to give it to our partners, guys. So first and foremost, Tech Garden, Center State CEO, for graciously providing this venue space, not only for our 24-hour hackathons, but also for the classroom for Careers in Code. So very fortunate to have their support. Syracuse Coworks, we're fortunate enough to be able to give Coworks memberships to all of our students. Really awesome space that students can connect with the local tech ecosystem and get some work done. TCG Player, we've had a handful of folks over at TCG Player come and share their knowledge with our students. Fortunate to have them. Raymore Flanagan, Matt, and Ralph, I'm not sure if you're here today, but they carved out, I think, 3 or 4 hours of their time to give mock interviews for all of our students and resume critiques. So thank you to Matt and Ralph, Raymore Flanagan, for being such an awesome supporter. And last but not least, Metis, for all their amazing support and feedback they've given us thus far, and also for providing all of the food and desserts and coffee and everything out there today. So thank you, Metis, and all of the partners. And of course, the main event, have to thank our students. So thank you all so much. Our students have proved they have the passion, aptitude, and grit to succeed in this program. It's been so amazing over these past 24 weeks to watch them grow and learn more about them. So many of our students have 9-to-5 jobs. Then they come to class 5:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. 4 days a week. That's dedication. That is sacrifice. They've had to really sacrifice so much for this class. They put in countless hours inside, outside the classroom, on the capstone project, on their homeworks, on class-related material. In addition to the instructors, the student feedback has been very helpful. Really appreciate you being so open and honest with us and really helping to improve the program. So thank you so much. We're so excited to have them all here graduating with us today. So thank you so much, all of you. All right, so the capstone project. So over the past 24 weeks, the students have all been working on really like a self-guided, self-directed project to showcase the skills that they've learned. So ultimately, the students had full autonomy in whatever they wanted to work in, whatever ideas they had, whatever tech stack they wanted. And this is ultimately today is a opportunity for them to show off what they've learned and celebrate their learning that they have had throughout this program. They'll talk about the problems they solved, a little bit about their story, and all that good stuff. So we're extremely excited to see what they've created and what they've learned. So before I call up the first student, just a quick reminder to the students, 6 minimum max. Will is going to have a giant timer and he'll flag down when you have 2 minutes left. No matter where you're at, when those 2 minutes are left, do your demo. Followed by a brief Q&A with the audience. And then if you are up next, come up to the front while the previous person is answering questions, unplug their laptop, get your all Zoom set up and all that good stuff. Any questions, students, for the capstone stuff? Cool. All right, so without further ado, I'd like to invite the first student up to present their project. So up now, we have Karen Thorne, and then on deck, we have Dakir Thompson. Let me get this out of the way. Yeah, you can get this down. You get set up perfect. Yes, so you're okay. Just gonna share screen.
So thank you, Jesse. My name is Karen Thorne, and before I dive in, I want to thank my family for during my Mad Hatter madness over the past 6 months. And I would like to thank all the sponsors in Hack Upstate for allowing me this amazing opportunity. So now I would like to tell you a little bit about my journey and my learning curve. A little bit about myself first. I'm a wife to an understanding, loving husband, a mom to 3 amazing kids, and a daughter to the best mom ever, who's always ready for an adventure with me. I'm an archer, and I can now say that I am a full stack developer. So I wanted to do more than just be a field technician for SciAx Health. I wanted change, and I needed it. So I started to pursue being a developer online, and I decided that that was really going to take a little bit of time, more than I wanted to. So I stepped out of my comfort zone. I went to a meetup, and that's where I met Jesse. And I found out about careers in code, and I decided, okay, I'm going to try it. So I applied, and obviously I got in because here I am. And when I'm not in class or working, if I find time, I'm on an archery range, but most of the time I'm at home coding, learning more code, watching as many videos as I can to keep going. So this is my problem that I'm trying to solve. Currently, if you go to an archery shoot, this is what you get. You get a piece of paper. You record your score. You turn it in when you're done. When you leave, the only thing that you have is your total score. That's it. You don't know anything else about any of the targets. And I've been thinking about this for a while. For probably about 3 years now, I wanted to be able to keep my score on my phone so that I could go back and look and see what the problem targets were and what I needed to fix, whether it was equipment, my mental game, you know, if it was just something else about the day, wind, didn't matter. So here we go. I'm not sure if my solution is going to be the perfect solution, but I think it's pretty good. And I think it'll actually do what I want it to and allow me to get there. And I really couldn't have done any of that without Careers in Code giving me the tools and the skills to be able to make this a reality. I did go through some bumps and trials. Whiteboard has become my new friend. I asked my husband to mount this to the wall. It's actually in our bedroom. It's right on the wall, but that right there is how I got started with my app. I was able to start getting my front end worked out. I got a nice little mock-up of what I wanted to do. And then I went back to my whiteboard for my database so that I made sure that I didn't lose any pieces when I was coding that out. But this was my favorite place to code. I spent a lot of hours just out front hanging out and getting a lot done while I was coding. So I'm using SQLized, Express, React, and Node.js in my project. I decided to go with SQLized to manipulate my data, manage my state with React. I wanted an easily accessible database so that I could have easy access to my authorization and use a light API. But not everything always worked. I had quite a few challenges. So the biggest one was probably SGVs. I think they were going to kill me creating them, but I never gave up. So let me show you what I have created. When an archer comes, they're going to hit a new round. They will choose however many targets they would like. So if they choose 30 targets, it's going to show up. They can start at any target they would like. They will see 2 photos where they can keep their, depending on the target. They'll record where their arrow landed with a pin drop. Record their score, and then they'll move on to the next target. They can do that for all 30 targets. They can enter any notes that they would like to about that target so that when they go back and reflect on it, they'll know when they get all 30 targets done, it'll give them their total score, and then they can go home. Then if they want to go back and look at it, they can go to the previous rounds and find that date, look at all of the targets from that date and see what their issues were. That is my app. So are there any questions that I can answer for anybody?
So that the target that you had drawn, was that an SVG file that you have?
It is. I spent literally not just hours, but days creating my own SGVs. I have probably 6 that I created for the app so that they can choose, depending on what they choose, if they choose an indoor or an outdoor shoot.
And were those SVG, like the ones that you created, were those mocked up based on archery ranges? That
They are actually specific archery. If you went and like Googled archery targets, you will see that actual pattern. So I took that pattern and I traced over it, did whatever I needed to create the SVGs. It was a lot. I thought they were going to break me. I really thought they were going to put me over the edge.
I hate SVGs. That's awesome.
Thank you.
What is an SVG for people that don't know coding?
It's a pictograph.
So their images are like mathematically drawn. They can scale and they always.
Questions for Karen, folks? Good job, Karen.
welcome. Thank you for coming. My name is Dakir Thompson. Oh, you're good. My name is Dakir Thompson, and I have a story to tell. The title of this story is Two Passions, One Tech Solution. This story starts with me. I graduated Lemoyne College last year, May 2018. I walked across that stage with a general science degree. And what I did not know was that to the working world, a general science degree says, don't hire me. It was horrible. It was heartbreaking. I applied to over 20 different software jobs, and all of them sent me, we are no longer considering you emails. And that was hard to take because while I was at Lemoyne, I fell in love with computer science. The first class I took, I got a C, but I didn't care because I knew I found what I love and what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. After Lemoyne, I still couldn't stop coding. I held multiple part-time jobs, but on my days off, I coded. Here are some of my former employers. So as I was going through multiple jobs, coding on my days off, I got a call from On Point for College, and they said that there was a coding boot camp. Would you like to sign up? I didn't know who was putting it on. I didn't know what they were teaching me, but they said code and it was free. So I said, yeah. So this continued for months. I was working and coding. And while I was coding toward the dream that I was going for, Rashad Mustafa was painting his way towards his dream. What's amazing about Rashad is that he has painted over 230 hand-painted canvases, has painted murals in 3 local businesses here in Syracuse, has given 3 children the room of a lifetime, and has also sold 7 pieces of artwork to the LA Clippers NBA player Montrezl Harrell. And all this happened within 2 years. Rashad, I believe, is now painting a canvas a day. The consistency amazed me. Here's some of his artwork. And what also amazed me is that all this was happening over social media. Here are some of his happy customers. So as I saw him going through social media and me trying to learn how to code, looking for projects, I thought I can build him a website. So I did. I made him a website using WordPress. It wasn't fancy. I didn't feel like a true developer. It was really plug and play. Fast forward a few months, I got a call from Careers in Code. They asked me if I was still interested. I said yes, signed up, and within the first few days, we were talking about a capstone or a final project. And immediately I thought, I can give Rashad an even better website. So the tech stack that we learned to use, the tech stack short as CERN, SQLize, Express, React, and Node. I'm going to show you how I use these within my capstone. So this is not live yet. I'm still working on it, but this is what I have so far. CanvasYourHome.art is Rashad's website. When you go to Canvas Your Home, you will see this. When you scroll down, you will see 2 images that serve as links to his artwork and then the apparel that you can buy that comes with it. Comes with it, or you can buy it separate, sorry. Then you have the gallery. So everything you see here, this front end, or what you can see, is built using React. It's also built using HTML, JavaScript, and some, it's also styled using Bootstrap and React Strap. What you see here are images that are live on the Amazon's S3 storage system. I take that URL, I put it in a database, a Postgres database, and I use Express to connect to that database and fetch those images. And that's how I got these images up here. What you can also see is his about page, where you can find out about the author. And then this is a request form. You can enter your name, your email, you can upload a file. You can upload a picture of what you want him to paint for you. And then there's a little text area. I forgot to change those. But you can tell him exactly how you want it to look, what you want him to paint. Again, he paints murals, he's painted children's rooms, all kinds of things. And that is my capstone. What I have next for the capstone, I'm gonna add a shopping cart. So that if you see something that you want to buy right then and there, you can click that button, and then in a few days, you will have your artwork or your apparel. I want to redesign the front end and the gallery to make it more interactive. And I also want to connect the request page to an email service. So when you put your information in and press submit, you are instantly connected to Rashad, and you two can start talking about what you want and where you want it to be. And that is my time. Any questions?
Questions for the here?
I got a question. Have you thought about doing any SEO for your website? Have you incorporated SEO?
I have not, but that is something that I plan to learn and implement. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I'm Elizabeth Metcalf. Screen coming up. This is how to reach me. I am nervous. I'm rarely speechless, and yeah, good times. So coming up. Careers in Code. I will tear up if I talk about how grateful I am. So I'm going to stop doing that. Again, my name is Elizabeth. I go by Beth. My hobbies outside of Careers in Code, what I like is a lot of political, what some people call political activism. I was stoked that Greenlight New York, which extended driver's license to all New Yorkers, regardless of their immigration status, passed both the House and Senate this year and will become law in January. New York Health Act, I still have hope for, but and some other more obvious local events. I was told not to talk about politics, so I just move on. How I got to Careers in Code was an interesting journey, and not necessarily one I want anyone else to go through. It's probably about 10 years now. What I was doing 10 years ago was much different. The picture you see here is a view I had many days. I was teaching undergrads and graduate students at our local Orange University in the School of Ed and for the graduate school. And actually I was introduced to kind of iSchool and tech people by teaching in the English non-native learner labs. I had students from international students from all over who were in the iSchool, or what would become the iSchool, I believe. And they were practicing their English before, being eaten alive by undergraduates. But I was shocked because one came in one day, and I had no idea we teach these kind of things, but they said they wanted to do a teaching presentation in class, and they told me, in order to defend a system, you have to know how to offend, and vice versa. I'm like, what? They're like, in order to defend, you have to know how to offend. And I'm going to teach a class on how to offend. And I'm like, oh gosh, I'm going to be fired. We're teaching, lots of fun stuff. But that's what I was doing for a while. But these odd things kept happening. My health, it would just out of nowhere, it seemed. Seizures, okay. You see my pun here, but that's kind of how I got through it, because it just strangeness kept happening. The timer. And it kept taking him away from working and things that I loved. And this became pain and this fatigue of the unknown illness were just weighing on me. They got more debilitating, more debilitating. At the time, I thought it also might be 4 sections of undergraduate discussion groups, freshmen on race, gender, privilege, and oppression. It could take a lot out of you. I still had to cut back what I was doing. My body was really getting eaten alive by something. I kept working with students, I worked with Division I athletes, but I was down from, wasn't teaching. I was, showing up as best I could. And they could empathize with the beat up body. More hospital stints. Hobbies changed. They became redecorating. You can see my before and after pictures. This is in SUNY upstate. How many? And I did complete my qualifying exams in the hospital. When I got out, I had a nurse and a whole online community full of 6 people. And guess who figured out what was wrong with me? Not the doctors in Syracuse, New York, but an international group of people. It's pretty obvious. I had a late stage untreated case of Lyme disease. I took coursework in all kinds of places because I had to treat my own disease, basically. And I met a lot of people who were in the same position that no one should be in. I met hackers. I learned that hacking wasn't this criminal activity. I learned that hacking meant to put things together. I'm going to my first hacking conference. It's biohacking, and we hope to make a $3 insulin. My capstone came, the hacker I just spoke about made a $3 EpiPen rechargeable when, one pharmaceutical company is getting millions for it. My capstone emerged organically. I can't see a clock. Things were pulling me out of class. Migraines, which co-occur with Lyme, tick-borne diseases. And to remedy this, I became my own client from hell because my goal was I need the migraines to stop now. And imagine, I know some of you are developers, and if you have a client who, I just need to do this now. It was tough. I began by using just some of the project management skills we've learned here at Hack Upstate, which were amazing. User stories. I was my own dev team. I was my own user. I was my own client. But as a migraine sufferer, I used the generic Max, want to track his headaches so that the information can be analyzed. And time is up. Okay, it began with wireframing, coding, came up my gorgeous head in a vice, not mine, but lots of places to get it. Anyway, the adjunct to that, I found what I wanted, which was a worker-owned co-op. Worker-owned co-ops, I think, of the future and entrepreneurship in this county, city, and I found one that I want to be part of and partnered with them, and I will be off county benefits and off everything in a month. And thank you, Hack Upstate. Thank you. Thank you.
Right now we have you, and then on deck you have Kelly Ford.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, I get that. So I just hit this.
Yes. And then it should be up here.
Oh, I can see it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I think it's going.
Okay, great. Hi, everyone. I am Eva Carappa. I'm going to tell you a story as well. Mine is a love story. Coding and me. I am a full stack developer as of today, so I'm very proud. This is my husband, Tom. That's my family, my daughter, Jillian, who's watching from the Netherlands. My son, Sam, who had to work. My squad, Riley and Pippi, shout out to Onondaga County because Jamesville Beach is my happy place. So coding and me, my family I mentioned, and my squad that can't be here, but because it's been a bear for 6 months. They deserve a huge round of applause just for putting up with me. It's been a tumultuous ride. Wasn't always clear coding and I would work out, but we did. So things that kept me going: an inability to quit, the support of my much put upon family, and this incredible tech community, because I have never been a part of a community that has been so kind and helpful and generous. I've done hard things before. You can ask me for my resume. So, I graduated from Newhouse with a master's degree. I went to law school. I'm a former assistant DA. I always wanted to change careers. I went to the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill and studied international economics, which is pretty, hard. But this is really, really, really hard. And I look like that a lot over the past 6 months. I also looked ecstatic, but there was a lot of this. Over July 4th weekend, in terms of obstacles, my new puppy, Riley, ate my entire notebook, shredded it. I had all kinds of notes from reading, from class, from things I wanted to do with my capstone. He ate it. And that was definitely an obstacle, but I posted it. And within moments, I had 9 replies, basically offering help and support and just kindness. And that's what helped me get through it. When the thought of getting serious about the capstone right after that notebook incident made me think about just jumping ship, Karen Thorne, our full stack developer extraordinaire, and Will, intern to the stars, talked me off the ledge, met me for coffee. Karen insisted I immediately go out and buy a whiteboard, which I did. And it worked. It worked. I came home and I drew it. And from then on, I went to wireframes. Thank you, Alice. And then to so many of these private appointments, these one-on-ones with Max and Alice and everyone, so generous. And with that support I made, but before I show you what I made, I just have to tell you the truth about me. I am not a great housekeeper. So problem number 1, I am actually fairly terrible at it. Although I like yard work, oddly, but that's another story. I don't even want to be a great housekeeper. I just want to have a great housekeeper. And especially when my kids were young, it made me crazy because it takes forever to find someone and then get the price. And if you have a housekeeper, and if you don't, I don't know what to say, except that you can use my app when I get it live. Problem number 2, when you're a stay-at-home mom or you have young children and you're on their school schedule, sometimes you want to earn some cash, but you can't have to work. Your work is limited by your children's schedules. So lots of the moms I met would have loved to have, their kids were away, spend an afternoon cleaning a house, earning some cash for the holidays or whatnot. But they don't necessarily have the freedom to really set up their own schedules either. So I made Get Room Service Now to solve both of those problems. Okay, so let me go to that. This is my, why aren't you big? Can you see it? Okay. So that's my app, Get Room Service Now. So the idea is you pamper your guests, let us pamper you. And you get room service now. And it goes to a create account page. You log in and you can continue to either get room service now,
to order these services, which are offered ASAP. A second pair of hands is just another adult that can hold your kid while you take a shower or go to the bathroom or whatever it is you have to do that your kids are not letting you do. And you need service in a particular place. And you can drop that down. Right now we have DeWitt downtown in Camillus. And then you continue. Okay, so that's the services offered. And then if you go back, you can also continue on to give room service. These are the things you are willing to do. So if you have a couple of free hours and you want to go be someone's second pair of hands or clean or childcare or pet care, and you specify where you're willing to provide service, then you fill out that form and you submit it as well. And the app can match it up and put you in contact with one another so that you can help each other out, which is definitely what I learned from Code Camp. So to create Get Room Service Now, I used Equalize, Express, React, and Node. To stylize, I use Bootstrap, React, and CSS. And finally, I'm gonna just keep on coding. Thank you all for this opportunity and for being here this evening.
Two things. One, when you started, I thought you were going to say you coded an app to do housework, and I was going to.
Oh, man. From your lips to God's ears.
Is your whiteboard in your bedroom?
Yeah, right.
Yes, it is. Today I moved it so it's off my husband's car. Did you have another?
Yeah, were you actually able to get user accounts? We're working on like with Sequelize, like can you actually create user accounts and stuff like that?
Yes, we can.
Awesome.
Yeah, we haven't, when we get together again after this, we're going to get together and figure out exactly the best ways to match everyone, but we did get the database to work.
So what's harder?
There it is.
Second year law school or this coding?
Hands down coding. I had a firm grasp of the English language in law school, which served me well, but I was definitely, I had a manual typewriter in college, so I was out of my.
Cool, and then I love the other things
a lot. I learned tons, but yeah, for me, this was a lot of fun.
Great.
Don't necessarily remember.
Sorry, one last question. Being a former lawyer in law school and having a firm command of the English language, what are your thoughts on naming variables?
I'm told my variables look weird. I have an off-key sense for that, but I just figured as long as I understood them, it was good enough for now. Anybody else? Thank you all so much.
All right, up now we have Kelly Corey. On deck, we have Caitlin Warboy.
So hi, everybody. Welcome to Sensory Friendly Syracuse. This is a capstone presentation and demo by Kelly Corey, yours truly. So you may ask yourself, how did I get here? As you can see from this picture, I've had a lifelong interest in computers. I was lucky enough to be raised with a desktop computer ever since I can remember. I never considered it as a career for myself, which you think is kind of odd. I ended up studying broadcasting at SUNY Oswego, and I don't regret it, but it wasn't the field I was ultimately passionate about. So I was kind of looking for a career change. Lucky for me, I fell in love with a web developer. So I got to see exactly what this career entails firsthand. And it kind of reignited my interest and passion for computing. And I decided to give that a shot. So lucky for me, I got accepted into this program and here we are. So what have I done? Over the past 24 weeks, I went from a little knowledge of HTML and CSS to becoming a full stack JavaScript developer. I have created and deployed 2 sites, the capstone you'll see later, and a personal site that I built using Gatsby. I've also gotten involved in the local tech scenes. I started going to meetups and things. I also want to start a meetup. So if you're interested in like a coding or tech book club, please let me know because I would love to start that as a meetup. So talk to me about it. So as with any journey, there are always going to be struggles. Caitlin's laughing because she recognizes this code. This is from our first month of class back when I used to cry over HTML and CSS. And if you work in code, you'll know how funny that is now that I know about things like JavaScript and React. So that was great. One of the things I've had to work on with this class is developing a sense of resilience. The errors start coming and they don't stop coming when you're a web developer. So you kind of have to get used to figuring them out. And it doesn't mean you're a bad developer if you get them. I've also had to really step outside of my comfort zone. 24 weeks ago was our kickoff party, and I sat in the back row and prayed to God not to get called on because I didn't want to have to talk in front of people. And now here I am delivering this presentation in front of all of you. So this class has been really great for me on the personal and professional level. So thank you all. Today is actually my 100th day of 100 days of code in a row. The reason there's no picture on the slide is because I'm going to take one right now. Thanks. I'll tweet that later at @KelDevelop. I have also been working on my capstone project. It's called Sensory Friendly Syracuse. The idea behind it is to create a central repository of information and community for people who have sensory processing issues. Right now, the information is kind of spread out among various social media apps and things, and I thought it would be helpful to have one place where that could be centralized. So the app that you're going to see today was built using React, Redux to manage state, Material UI, Express as my middleware. So I wrote a bunch of routes in Postman. If you're a tech person, you'll know. And Firebase as my deployment method and also my backend. So this was the first version of Sensory Friendly Syracuse. You can check out this HTML and CSS. This is the second version of Sensory Friendly Syracuse, where I started learning what React was. And before we get to the third version, I'm going to take a minute to talk about my post-class plans. I'd actually really like to start a podcast. I've talked to some of my classmates about that. So if you know anything about podcasting, please talk to me because I don't. This is new for me. The other thing I'm planning to get started is my career. I have really fallen in love with web development, and this is what I want to do. So if you are interested in learning more or working with me, my business card's on the table outside. Please take one. So let's get ready to demo, which means I get to switch to this. This is sensoryfriendlysyracuse.firebaseapp.com. It's a real live working site. You can go there right now. If you do go there, this is what you'll see. You have two options. You can log in or sign up. I'd like to send a special thanks to one of our instructors who has set up his own profile. Thanks for doing the beta testing. Appreciate it. So of the options here, I'm going to choose login. I'll just show you the sign up real quick. It's basic form. But we'll go to login. We'll log in with one of my dummy test accounts. This very secure password, please don't steal it. Oh no, did I type it in wrong? Yeah, that would be me. Uh-oh. Okay, cool. I'm gonna be the one who breaks the app. Awesome. Rad. All right, I promise it really does work. Or at least it did when I did this dry run yesterday. There. Okay. Totally. There you go, right? Absolutely. So once you log in, you can see this profile come up here. It does have an option to edit the profile pic from your computer. You can change the profile. There's a bio, location, and website. You can save or cancel, which is what I'm going to do right here. This is my nifty logout button because you don't want to be logged in forever. Also, there's notifications up here at the top in case you get any new thoughts. And I think I actually have time even to show you my thought expander. So if you click on this, it'll bring up the individual thought. You'll notice that the route up here changed. This was work. This does not just do that. I had to write that. So there's actually comments underneath here that you can leave as well. There's a little about page with just some basic information. There is a contact email. This does actually work. So you can go ahead and send me stuff, contact@sensoryfriendlysyracuse.com. And finally, my credits page, because it's important to give credit to things that you've used. At the bottom, it says a special thanks to viewers like you, which is all of you guys. I'm going to take my last 20 seconds to send a quick thank you to my friends. I'm not going to cry. Oh my God. Thanks to my friends and family and my loved ones for putting up with me for this past 6 months because it's been hard. I know it has. Thank you to Jesse and Doug and the Hack Upstate team for taking a chance on me. And I'd like to send a special thanks to my classmates and instructors. This experience has been incredible. So with that, I will say goodbye to Careers in Code and hello world. Thank you. Oh, what's up, DK?
Where'd you get that logo from?
Oh, so the logo I actually made at logomaker.com. Just logomakr.com. It's a free service. I'll slack you the link. If you want to make one. Were there any other questions?
Not a question, more of a comment. I actually have, my best friend works at Elm Crest, and I'm not sure if you have any connections there, but I know that the parents that work with, that have children with disabilities would be really interested in something like this, so I'll have to talk to you afterwards.
Great, thank you so much.
I've got a friend that's majoring in occupational therapy, and she was asking me like to either make or find something very similar to this. Would you be interested? Like, are you planning on taking this to the next step? And if so, would you be willing to get feedback and go partner with somebody like that?
Absolutely, that's something I'm very interested in. I plan to keep working on this project after class is over, and things like that we're just outside the scope of what I can do at this time, but yeah,
I'd
definitely.
love to talk to you after that. That'd be great.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Up now we have Caitlin Warboy. On deck we have Anna Ambe.
Hi, guys. I'm Caitlin. If you'd like to follow along, there's a link to my slides. And if not, you can just save it for later. It's also somewhere else. I think Jesse's going to put them out somewhere. I don't know. Anyway. Why can't I
Try
go?
click.
There we go. I got it. I'm from Syracuse. I live with my daughter, Evelyn. She's over there. That's a picture of her. This is us. A little background. I received my bachelor's from Le Moyne College in sociology and anthropology, and my master's in education from Syracuse University. I've been a special education teacher for the last 3 going on 4 years. And I'm now a full stack JavaScript developer. My favorite courses in school actually were like linguistics, statistics, statistical methods. So I found actually coding to be like really freaking awesome. To use like all the data, learning languages, I've always been really good at that. So growing up in Syracuse, it's been really wild to see how things have changed over the years. I'm 29 years old, so it's a long time to see how things play out. Even as one of the largest metropolitan areas in New York State, though, as Ryan McMahon mentioned, the poverty rate in Syracuse is really, really high. People are, we're one of the poorest cities in the nation. Only 1 in 4 homes in Syracuse do not have access to the internet home, which means they have to go elsewhere to access the internet in some way. There are more people with smartphones, so I wanted to develop a way that you could complain about stuff using a smartphone instead of having to navigate the website, because everybody likes to complain. I started my project thinking about just that, like how you can complain about things in your neighborhood, so like water main breaks, potholes in front of your house, random things like that that just happen. The current Syracuse website is really clunky, not user-friendly. If you go to it on your mobile phone, you have to like zoom in to like use a menu, and it's just horrible. Which I know they're working on, but it's just old and outdated. And so I wanted to make an app for that. It would be really nice to know like when your trash pickup's gonna be, your next yard waste. They send out paper flyers, which is extremely wasteful. It would be really cool for you to be able to see it on your app, like whenever you need to. Maybe when your trash day is not, because holidays happen and nobody knows what holidays it's not gonna be. And so I wanted to design an app where you could city residents could easily communicate with the city, and it also allows residents to get information more easily, and it's more accessible to more people in Syracuse. One of the biggest issues is that current site is not user-friendly, and there's so many APIs with data on them on the Syracuse site, but data is not useful if you're not using it. It can sit there in spreadsheets all day, but if you're not using it, then it's not helpful. So I decided to try to utilize some of that data. I met with Sam Edelstein. I don't know if he's here somewhere, but he took the time to really understand the problems I was having, help me narrow down some ways I could begin to solve them. Thanks, Sam, if you're watching or here. And I wanted the app to look simple and easy to read, and eventually I'd like to add more features. For now, I have a fully deployed, functional, full stack app, which is something I didn't know I could do before, so that's cool. The tech stack I used very basic HTML, CSS, compiled with Sass, JavaScript and jQuery. My backend uses JavaScript, Node, and Express. My database is a Postgres database using SQLize, and I used bcrypt for authentication. And then deployment, I deployed with AWS, which is extremely difficult. Do not recommend, but it was free and it's actually a really cool experience. Thank you, Ryan and Gus, for helping. That was awesome. And I used 2 APIs from DataQs. You guys should all check out that data. It's really cool. And I found some issues, so I'd like to talk to Sam about that. So some challenges I faced before I demo. There were a lot of API inconsistencies, like spelling errors and street names. The words sometimes were separated when sometimes you spell them as one word, things like that. So here's my app. It's kind of small on the screen, I guess. No, it's not. Okay. You can sign up. So I'm gonna just make a fake thing really quick. And then whatever. I'm using a fake address, so hopefully this is nobody's actual address. And you create an account. And then you can log in. I think that's what I called it. Okay. So then it pops up like this. This map, I want eventually to show the actual outline of the quadrant, but it says it pulls your name from the database using a fetch request, and then it pulls your trash pickup day. When I used the trash pickup API to fetch the data, I received 3 different things. I received the trash day for the address and XY coordinates for the address. And then I used a separate fetch request using those XY coordinates I stored in variables before I created the user. So it's all done on the back end to then query a second database that shows quadrants in polygons. And I had to use point and polygon to figure out if the XY coordinates lied within that shape. And that's what gives you the northeast quadrant, which I also stored in variables. So that was the most difficult part of the project. There's an about page, and then you can, yeah, it logs out as well, and that's it. That's what I have. Any questions? Thanks. That's my daughter.
And for next steps, what features would you like to add next to it?
I'd really like to add the service request next, since that was the main goal. It was really hard to figure out how to scale down. I had a huge idea that just kind of was way too massive for me to do in 24 weeks. But I really want to make it a real useful thing. And add that service request, and then somehow track it and provide accountability for not only the city but the residents to be able to see what's actually going on. You can think about something.
Now we have Anna Ambe. On deck, we have Dana McMullen. So if you don't have anything. Right, yeah, just go ahead and it doesn't take too long to get. Someone help us find the present button. We're in view. Under view.
Yeah. One more over.
Yeah, right.
View, not yeah.
Right from the beginning. Thank you, Max.
So, hi everyone. My name is Anna, and just a little preview of what my week has been like. Yeah, that's how it's been like. So a little bit about me. I came here when I was 13, and I didn't know much about computer science. I never really played around with computers because I never had any around me. So I discovered computer science while I was in school. I initially wanted to major in a healthcare field, and after a little bit of taking classes and soul searching and a little bit of growing up, I realized that that wasn't something that was something that I wanted to do. this time in my life. So I changed my major. I actually didn't, I took classes. I had another major in mind. And that major required me to take a computer science class. So I ended up in a computer science class. And well, the rest is history. I'm here today. So yeah. So about my capstone project, well, the idea, I wanted to do an inventory system. So the idea came to me, like I worked in a nonprofit organization for a little bit while I took time off from school. And one of the things that I really wanted, like, I mean, I thought that would be helpful to have would be an inventory system to manage donations and track incoming products and outgoing products, and just give people like a visual representation of what they had and what items they needed to get. So my project is basically aims to solve that. And my tech stack, well, I used my backend used Node.js and Firebase. As you can see, my backend is different from everyone else's. I initially wanted to use PostgreSQL and SQLize like everyone else, but I just wanted to be a little bit of a rebel, and I went with Firebase, and that backfired. So I don't have my backend set up yet because I kept running into errors, and I was like, you know what, I gotta get the front end going. And yeah, so the front end, I use Materialize, Style Component, Bootstrap, CSS, and React. Also TypeScript. So for people who are developers, you know, TypeScript and React are basically the same thing. So I have been having my project, half is in React and half is in TypeScript. So I gotta figure out where that's gonna end up, or maybe just end up using both of them and connecting the two. So yeah, my capstone is not done yet, but at this point, at this stage, I have, so yeah, obviously just like here, I have a register page. This basically, the design came by accident. I had two folders, CSS folders, and I was working with both of them. So somehow they both ended up changing my web page, and this is what I came up with. So right now, like I said, I don't have my back end, but I have some. If you do try to sign up, it will make sure they create register page. Will make sure that you have all the credentials. You have your full name and you have your password matches before you register. So when the backend gets set up, you should be ready to go. And then this is my sign-in page. And you can see I have everything up in the nerve page. So this is like this page here was done in TypeScript. So moving on, this one was is in React.js, and I'm still working on it. So for what I'm able to do with this page currently is just click a button and add an item to the cart. I haven't set up a page where that data is being received yet, so that's coming up next. And what I eventually want to do is allow people to create a cart and be able to check out, and here on this page, when they click on the cart button, they'll be able to see the product image, the names of the product, the quantity, how many products are in the inventory, and they'll be able to add or remove from the cart, and then they will see the total, like how many products they have added. And eventually they'll be able to check out, and that will take away from the inventory. Yeah, so That's
What were some of the issues that you ran into with Firebox?
com-
Firebase.
Firebase
Sorry.
configuration. It was just like setting up, like initializing, like just like getting it started. So I wanted to, just basic. That's it. Yeah, the configuration part. That. Yeah. Any other questions?
Thank you very much, Anna. All right, folks, it's been our full undivided attention.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Dana McMullen, and I'm also very proud to say that that I am a full stack web developer. Finally, it's been a long 24 weeks. It's been so long that I've been saying for the past few days that it's been 26 weeks. And when I looked up and realized it was 24, I was like, oh, I've lost a couple of weeks there somewhere, but we'll just keep it moving along. So my capstone and my vision was to build a better bus app, because for some reason, even though I've been involved in the world of tech for a long time, I just have not been able to figure out how to use the Central Bus app to try to plan a bus trip. And I said, maybe it's because it's a little busy for me. And since I work with people who have visual disabilities, my thinking was, wow, wouldn't it be great if there was a bus trip planner that had a more basic visual design to make it easier for anyone to use? And so that was the motivation behind that. So my goal was to build a more intuitive, user-friendly bus trip planner as a progressive web application or a dedicated phone app. The phone app idea was a little bit too aggressive, never got to that. And the web app that I'm going to show you today is still a work in progress, but I'm proud of the results nonetheless. I also wanted to be able to utilize voice commands with it. And I also wanted it to be accessible with special technologies that the visually impaired use, such as JAWS on the PC and VoiceOver, which is what some would utilize on a Mac. Just a little bit about me. Before the Careers in Code Bootcamp, I was working as an employment consultant with a local nonprofit agency. I was also an assistive technology instructor for the visually impaired and blind with the New York State Commission for the Blind. I've also done assistive technology for people with all kinds of disabilities at Onondaga Community College and Syracuse University for a combined total of 10 years. And I'm a certified technology instructor for low vision and blind people to use special technologies on a computer. Why I chose Careers in Code Bootcamp, because it was an opportunity to learn about programming and coding, and I love technology. It came with a full scholarship to attend. We also got the MacBook Pros. They came with the scholarship. Classes started at 5:30 in the evening, so it was a no-brainer. It didn't interfere with the workday. This also puts me in a better position to be a producer of technology products for people, especially people with disabilities. So that's one of my dreams, to be able to produce some type of product. And from what I hear, coders and programmers get paid well. So I would like that very much. So I talked about the problem a little bit, that I found that the bus planner app was not easy for me to use. And through Careers in Code, we learned about making our code accessible. We learned about intuitive user interfaces. Those are things that I've tried to implement in my app, like color balance and contrast. And I drew inspiration from the Central Bus app. Also, Ithaca Transit has a really nice one. But like I said, I just found the interfaces to be a little busy. I didn't have any one particular way of managing my work. We learned how to use a ton of different tools, and every time we learned something new, I would say, that's the one I'm going to use. But then the week after that, we learned something else, and then I change it, and that's the one I'm going to use. So the tech stack that I used was HTML, CSS, Equalize, Express, Node, and also got to play around with Google location services. I was able to get an API key. So the information that I'm actually bringing in on the back end is actually linked to the satellites that are up there in space, such for location data. All right, so getting to my demo. So this is one of the more straightforward interfaces that I built. And when I click this button right here, it's actually asking if I want to allow my location to be known. And when I click allow, what's going to happen is it's going to communicate with the satellites, and it gives me my current location where I am right now. So let me just blow that up. And as I continue to work on this, the latitude and longitude will actually be converted to the actual street where I am, or the closest intersection. And then moving on, this is another interface. So I've done a lot of front end work, a lot of back end information to try to bring into my front end to get things to work. One of the problems that I ran across was that we were encouraged to use Bootstrap, because Bootstrap actually helps making the design and the look and the feel of our front end look really good. But the problem was that when I brought in my information from Google, which would help me to render the location data, Bootstrap didn't play very nicely with the tags that were around some of the functions that I had to bring in. So that created a lot of glitches for me. But nonetheless, if I click this in this other interface, once again, it tells me where I'm at. So that was nice. And just to show you a couple of other things that I've built here. This is actually blocking it. Okay, so I can bring that down. All right, so this was going to be this is the login for what I eventually want this to look like. One of my instructors said, don't use the, can I use that out of the way? Okay. Okay. All right, so I got scolded for using red because in design, red is danger or it's an alert, but I like it. So I kept it. Okay, and so here's some of my other front end work. Oh, and this is This is actually so I'm building my own company behind the scenes to do web development work for folks. So this is actually my portfolio dashboard page, and this is actually on a live site. So you can go here, it's called Technology Overlay, learn more about me and the different projects that I've worked on. That's actually the local version. No, oh, this is the live version. This is the one with my red plugged in there again. Yes, so maybe I'll put that one up, and that's it. That's it. Any questions?
Questions for Dana?
Thank you.
I got a question.
Yeah.
So Dana, knowing what you know now,
Yeah.
would you do anything differently with your approach to your project in the class?
What I would have done differently was started to dive into the tags that Google presents with the geolocation functions, and try to get a better sense of how to make it play better with Bootstrap, because I really like using Bootstrap for consistency with the front end, and also because it helps with making the web pages more responsive. So I think that once I figure out how to make the Google API stuff and Bootstrap play better together, things will, then I can go ahead and finish building out my app. Okay. Any other questions? Thank you.
All right, up now we have Jaquay Winfield. On deck we have Timothy Lyles. Right? Yes.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Just give us 1 second, folks.
Yeah.
So if you want to make this a little bigger.
All right. So, hi, everyone. My name is Jaquay Winfield. How are you? Good. So I started being interested in like websites and how they work, I don't know, a good while ago. And I was looking around online for ways to, start learning such things. And I saw that there were online like coding boot camps and stuff. And I started to think, well, maybe I need something that's like a little bit more in person. Maybe I need something that's a little bit more like longer than like, a weekend or a week. So I was really excited to find Careers in Code. This program has really, really helped me organize like all of my life. It's easy for me to get like overwhelmed by like all the different tools that are available. So I've been able to make it so that I can use these tools to help my life rather than feeling like I'm, burdened by them. So I was born in Hudson, New York, small town a few hours away. I was really inspired by high school teachers that encouraged me to just like go hard and do whatever you want to do. So that's what I did. I came to Syracuse to study chemistry, and my most recent job was at Bristol Myers as a microbiologist. And as awesome as that was, it's kind of not what I wanted to do, like at all. So in search of a good like work-life balance, I, took a chance, and you guys took a chance on me, and here we are because I am a full stack developer. So, yeah, I feel this program's really awesome because like I remember being actually in this room at like meetups and stuff, and meeting like, Doug and Jesse and, all these guys, and really feeling like this was not like something that I could do. But they definitely like encouraged me and like kept me going this whole time. So at first, I decided to do an e-commerce like website for a coworker who was doing like landscaping and plowing, but I quickly learned that that is a huge deal, huge. Not that it's impossible, but just not something that I wanted to do in the 6 months. So it was really hard, but I learned to just like scale it down and scale it down and scale it down and scale it down, down, down. And so what we have here is sort of like an inventory management tool that really focuses on the user. At first, I was seriously focused on the data, but then I realized, wait a minute, my pain point was the user interface, not necessarily the database. So I decided that I would work on that. So here we have, you can, create an account and you can log in. Like this page is really simple because like all you have to do are tasks, right? And here go a lot of fields for the sample information that would be submitted after you're done with your task. And this next page, I have wonderful plans for because, I would do my task at, my previous jobs, and then there would be this, difficulty of communicating with everybody that needs to know everything in a very timely fashion. So I imagined a progress bar where, here you would hit submit, you finished your task, good job, and one of these bars would update, and other people who were on your team would be able to see that without necessarily like, contacting you directly. Not that I don't want to talk to people, but this has been a really, really, really good time. Even when I'm like trying to, like, I just don't know how to take a break. Like I could not just like let things go. And even when I like did try to take a break, I'm like, oh, well, let me do something for someone else. And I turned that into like a little project. So, we're here, why not? So let's go to like the Slack channel. So yeah, the Slack channel is a really good record of how I forget that I'm supposed to just like let it go and try again tomorrow, but it bugged me. So I just couldn't let it go. But that's okay. That's okay. There's always another day. I have like the rest of my life. Wow. Oh yes, Beth. Do you mind, Beth? All right. Let's see here.
You're good.
Awesome. Great. So this is what I call taking a break. Like Beth needed some business cards, and I was like, I just made business cards at Staples. It was, really easy. Not really, but I got it done. So I set up a little challenge. Oh, all done? Oh, great. Yeah. So I like doing other stuff too. Thanks. I am very excited to start a full-time job as a full stack developer. So if you're interested in me and my skills, I'm available all day.
Thank you.
I'll just share a comment.
Yeah, sure.
I'll say that that ability to have extreme focus and be relentless, solving a problem, that is a hallmark of an excellent developer. Because you do need that. You will run into problems that will take a while, you pull your hair out, and yeah, not giving up. That's an excellent skill. You do need to walk away sometimes.
I
10
do.
minutes, whatever.
I do.
Because you can look at it with a new perspective, but well done. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much.
All right. Up now we have Timothy Lyles. On deck we have Catherine Tortora. Kate, sorry. I'm in graduation mode.
So, can you hear me?
It's okay.
So, my name is Timothy Lyles. This is my contact information. And my project, the title of my project is Closet Concierge. Little about me, I'm from Syracuse, New York, born and raised on Southside Valley with my mom and my sister. As a kid, I liked playing with Legos. If you ask my mom, it's probably like a good representation of my lore. So Legos grew to more intricate things such as model kits. Model kits grew to teaching myself how to sew. And when I was in school, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I knew I liked to make things, but I didn't know what I could do that incorporated making things. So I was a communications major, took a great class about engineering, like sound development, different things like that. Kind of like making, I don't know what the word is, but kind of like an environment from nothing. Switched the major to business management to try to get a job as an accountant because I kind of fell in love with it after taking an accounting class. So I got a job that would help me to go back to school, get a degree. But while I was working there, I decided that, well, I found out that it wasn't really something that I liked. It wasn't giving me what I gave it. So I kind of took a step back, didn't know what I wanted to do. And I found an article on Syracuse.com about careers in code. And I didn't know what coding was really. I kind of heard of it, but I didn't think that I was like smart enough to learn how to code. So I went home, looked up some videos and articles about coding, started teaching myself Python. It's my first language. And when I started learning Python, I kind of like forgot all about time and everything that was going on. And anytime that happens, that's how I know that something is for me. So I applied to Careers in Code, got the acceptance email from Jesse. That was probably the best day of my life. And from there, it was just really like digging into different languages and learning all that I could about coding. For my capstone project, it's called Closet Concierge. It's a web-based application that is catered towards streetwear, but can be implemented to products of any kind. It will allow users to search for products that they may be interested in buying online and return a list of websites where they are available for sale and what the price is on each website. Because I don't know about everybody in here, but I don't like to spend more on something if I don't have to. For my project, I used HTML, CSS, Express, Node.js, Mongoose, and Puppeteer. Puppeteer is currently one of my favorite things to use because you can tell it to do something, run it, and it'll do it for you automatically. The uses for it are pretty much endless. You can basically automate anything you want, capture anything you want, make files, PDFs, like it's really endless. So my capstone. So here is the front page of my capstone. It's not 100% done, by the way, but here is front page, just a bunch of different articles that you'll be able to click on to bring you to that different section. Here is a list of different brands that you could look up. One that I'm going to go to right now is John Elliott. And here it'll show you different items that you can search for, look up here. So if you wanted to buy these shorts, it'll give you the name of the shorts, the description, the websites where you can buy them from, and the price. I don't spend this much money on my clothes, but for people that do, you know, it'll be helpful. And so it gives you like a bunch of pictures and stuff. And so if you click on one of these links, and I'll show you that it works, it'll take you to that website where you can see that it is listed for that price. You can buy it, select your size, or go to a different one and kind of do the same thing. So that's my project, and thank you.
So are you using Puppeteer to get that data for like the different apparel and items from other?
Yeah, with Puppeteer, you can, well, what I did was I gave it a bunch of parameters to look for on these websites. It'll go through the website on that page, and then if you want, you can use something called pagination, which will go through all the pages that are listed on the website as well, collect the data, and then bring it back to a database that you can serve to like the front end.
So after having started with Python and then participated in a curriculum that seems to favor a CERN stack, do you like Python or JavaScript better?
I like JavaScript right now, but I think Python will be interesting to get further into. What I learned using Python is that it's really, really powerful. It will allow you to do pretty much anything that you want to do.
All right, last but not least is Kate Tortora.
Okay. I'm Kate Tortora, and if the color of my face hasn't given it away yet, I'm not a fan of public speaking. But since this journey has begun way back in March, I've been kind of stepping out of my comfort zone ever since. So before Careers in Code, I've been working in local TV for 12 years. I graduated from OCC and I got my job 2 weeks after as a production crew member. And from there, I quickly became promoted to a director, but my work was never defined by the job title that I had. I was always either an editor or a graphic designer or sometimes the IT guy because things break. And TV is a 24-hour business and people aren't there after 5 o'clock. So I was fixing things. So I would just use every resource that I had and just make it work because we have a time deadline. News goes on at 5 o'clock, whether you're ready or not. So my current role as a producer, is how I found Careers in Code. I was perusing Twitter for some story ideas and I came across a link for this program. I clicked on it and Jesse's face popped up. So if you're ever on the Hack Upstate website, Jesse's face pops up and it asks if you have a question, and I actually did. So I went home that night and kind of sent an email. So here I am 24 weeks later on graduation day, and I'm here excited to share my capstone with you and ready to begin my new career. So for my capstone, it is a pet adoption quiz. It's a fun quiz that matches people to dogs in local shelters based on their personality and not by the breed of the dog. The goal is to just get more dogs out of the shelters and into loving homes. A couple challenges that I've had along the way. Planning for the unknown. I didn't know how to build a full stack application. Now I do, but I didn't along the way. So I just rolled with it. Recently, I've had an issue putting my images into the database and getting it returned. Talking to some of my fellow students, I've actually have a few resources now that I'll be working on, but due to a time constraint today, I'm just using a JSON server to send back my data. Scaling my project, I started out with all these big ideas and then realized that that's a lot to do. So I've kind of just worked on getting basics done, and I have plans for building in the future. Tripping up on the little things, I feel like a lot of people do this, but literally like a bracket, or you're missing, you know, a semicolon or a colon instead of a semicolon. It's frustrating. So I've learned just to take a time out and kind of step back and then come back to it. And then the errors are usually right in your face. And you're like, oh, duh. So the tech stack that I used HTML, CSS, React, a lot of React, and Bootstrap and React Strap for my front end. For the server side, like I said, I'm using a JSON server today, but I would be using SQLized Express, Node.js, and Postgres for my backend. So without further ado, here's my app. And this is participation from you guys. So you'll be taking the quiz. So I'll just take like the first answer that I hear shouted out. So what's your favorite subject in school? Gym, English, or math? Math. If you could be great at one sport, which would you choose? Soccer. Oh my gosh, soccer. Okay. If you found a briefcase of money on the street, what would you do? All right. What's your favorite type of food? Oh. What's your favorite color? Green. Ooh, okay. How do you spend your free time? What song would you sing at karaoke? What's your favorite zoo animal? Elephant. What's your favorite holiday? If you had a warning label, what would it say? No. Well, congratulations. All of these dogs are up for adoption, by the way. So if you are interested in taking the quiz for yourself, you can find me after. And it turns out after doing this entire thing, I'm not that far out of my comfort zone. I'm still using the resources that I've gathered throughout this course and making things work. I kind of Googled like what's the best way to get to know people, and it comes up with a lot of questions, and some of them are actually kind of interesting.
What are your factors for matching, based on the questions, matching that with the dog?
I did a lot. Actually, this is kind of like a quiz that you would take in a magazine. So you get matched, like if you have so many A answers, you get this group. It's actually a lot harder to match dogs to people's personalities than you would think, just because there's so many different variables, and it comes down to actually 4 things that don't actually come out with personality. It's actually people's expectations of their dog.
If you take the quiz again, do you get any questions?
Yes, you do.
Nice. So do you think about adding like a Tinder-like functionality?
Yeah, that would actually be pretty good.
Will you be taking this to the local shelters and trying to get them to advertise your app?
I've actually contacted a couple, and I guess the CMI SPCA has partnered with somebody who works in California, and they do the same thing.
Feature request for when you deploy. have the ability to kind of scrape, like automatically scrape pets from local shelters so that you don't need to punch them in by hand.
Okay.
Or even better yet, you could set a standard and create a centralized database that shelters could then submit animals into your database, and then you can kind of provide a centralized API for other projects like that. That would be really cool.
I have a form for shelters to be able to log in and fill out, and that's what should populate my database when I get it going.
I guess following on that, I mean, one thing you might want to add is, where are you and how far away would you travel to adopt? Yeah.
That's right. All right. Wow. That was amazing. Awesome work, everyone. Seriously, really well done. All right, folks, I know we're running behind a little bit, so I'll try to move pretty quickly through the rest of the stuff here. But before we get into our graduation ceremony, we'd like to share a little gift that our instructors and teaching assistants all put together for all the students here today. So hopefully this will play. Let me just do this really quick. Hope this doesn't crash and burn. Let's see. Oh God, I'm panicking. Oh geez. All right. Is there volume? Hold on. That volume good?
There's an old quote from Confucius. If you are the smartest person in the room, then you're in the wrong room. Throughout the program, you have put yourself in a new room and excel. Now it's time for the next room, and I have no doubt you will succeed.
Hey everyone, congratulations on making it to the end of the program. That's awesome. We're really proud of you guys. You've come a long way in such a short period of time. You've learned a lot of new skills. Always remember to keep learning, keep trying your best, and above all, remain confident in yourselves. So confidence is going to give you that key to open new doors in your future careers, and it's going to take you very far. So you may not know everything about development, but that's okay. Not everyone knows everything. I mean, trust me, developers spend a lot of time searching for answers. So don't worry about it. Just be confident in what you do know, and that's going to take you far. I mean, just think about it. 6 months ago, you knew very little about web development, and now you're creating your own apps. That's amazing, right?
Congratulations. It's been a long and incredible journey watching each and every one of you become the amazing people and software professionals that you are today. I'm so humbled and honored to have been a part of that journey. You inspire me to be a better version of myself every day.
Hey everyone, can you believe it? Here we are 24 weeks later. I still can't get over the sacrifices you guys have made, how you persevered through a really challenging program. When everything else you're juggling, it's just been an amazing experience to witness from the outside looking in. This has unequivocally been one of the most profoundly rich things that I've ever been a part of in my life, both personally and professionally. And so thrilled to see how well you guys have done. It's been amazing, and I can't wait to see what you guys are going to do next. It's simply incredible.
Congratulations. It's been an honor and a privilege to watch all of you transform into software professionals over the past 24 weeks. Each and every one of you has had to make tremendous sacrifice for the program, putting in countless hours both inside and outside of the classroom. You all inspire me, and we've learned so much from all of you.
Hi everyone. Congratulations on finishing Careers in Code. It's been an incredible pleasure to have the opportunity to teach you 2 modules and watch your skills learn and grow and improve throughout the program. I think about programming like a martial art. It's a discipline. You can practice it every day and learn a little bit more and get a little bit better. And that's what I've seen while teaching all of you.
Hey, Careers in Code cohort number 1. I'm so proud of you guys. You guys have worked so hard over these last 24 weeks. You've managed busy work, family schedules. You've helped your families get through crises, dealt with job issues, you've had health issues, you've moved homes, you've moved apartments, your dog even ate your You kept coming to class, you kept learning one framework and then another.
Hey students, it's
It's the end of Careers in Code. Just want to say congratulations. You're all champions. You stuck with it for half a year. You're speaking the code language, programming code language. You're all gonna be off to do great things.
I just want to say how happy I am that you all successfully completed the course. It hardly seems like there's even time for 24 weeks to have passed, but here we are. You all are some of the nicest, smartest people I've had the pleasure to work with, and I fully believe you'll go on to do great things. My advice to you going forward, don't neglect your networking. Find your community, and as you start to get involved and people begin to know you more, all sorts of opportunities will open up to you. Also, never stop learning. Being able to learn efficiently and adapt to new technologies and situations is what's going to give you an edge over other developers who can't. And just by completing this bootcamp, I'm more than certain that you're all are capable of that.
Just know that when you walk across that stage, receive your diploma, and graduate, that's truly only the beginning. I can't wait to see what amazing things you all do next. Congrats.
Remember, it's not a mistake. You meant to create that blog for these girls. Congratulations and hello world.
So congratulations again, guys. We're super proud of you, and I hope to see you around the Dev Meetups. All right, congrats, you deserve it.
We're all thrilled. I'm super excited to see what's around the corner for you guys.
So thank you again for the opportunity to teach you and be your instructor. And I wish you all the best in your future careers. And please don't hesitate to add me on LinkedIn.
So thank you for all of your hard work and your dedication to the program. We're so incredibly proud of how far you've come, and you should be really proud too. We can't wait to see where this program takes you.
Just want to wish you all the best and say congratulations and good luck.
You guys have inspired me. I'm so proud to have gotten to know each and every one of you over these last 24 weeks. I'm excited to see what you guys create next. Congrats.
Congrats, everyone.
Congrats.
Congratulations. All right. Okay, congratulations to the first cohort for Careers in Code students. But our students would also like to say thank you to all of the instructors, teaching assistants, and guest speakers. So at the front of the room, instructors, teaching assistants, and guest speakers, you'll find some handwritten notes. We're gonna pull it forward. Don't do it right now, but after, there's a lot of envelopes up there. So please grab them. So that was a little token of appreciation from all of our students. So thank you again, instructors, teaching assistants, guest speakers. All right, now I go into formality mode. All right, so we're now pleased to begin the graduation ceremony for the first cohort of Careers in Code students. So if I can have Will, Doug, and Jason come to the front of the room. Can someone find Doug and tell him to get in here?
You have the graduation music queued up?
I don't have any music, I'm sorry. I can keep the loop going, but we're talking over it. Okay, so all of our students have met the expectations of our program and fulfilled the requirements for graduation today. A couple quick logistical items. Feel free to applaud after each student, go crazy, take pictures, all that good stuff. Each student will come up one by one and receive their diplomas and pause to shake hands to get their shake hands with the gentleman over there and get their picture taken. Once the students have received their diplomas, Liz will take a group photo of all the students. Before the students walk the stage, if you want to call the stage, right here and graduate, I just want to say a couple quick words that the people in the video all did a much better job than me. So I'm sure the students have all heard this a million times before, but today doesn't mark the end of your journey. Today marks an important milestone in all of your software professional careers. The past 24 weeks have prepared you to take on any problem or challenge that you'll face in the next chapter of your life. We've learned a tremendous amount from you, and we cannot thank you for all your hard work, motivation, and dedication to the program. Remember to never stop learning. You are a lifelong student. We will miss you, and we wish you the best in the next chapter of your life, and we can't wait to see the amazing things with the new skills you have learned. I'd like to now begin by calling the first student's name to receive their Careers in Code diploma. Karen E. Thorne. please head over towards me once you receive your diploma. You'll get your diploma, Karen, I promise. Next, Dakir Thompson. Elizabeth Metcalf. Eva Carafara. I totally put you down, sorry. Kelly M. Corey. Caitlin Warboy. Anna Aombe. Dana McMullen. Jaquay Winfield. Timothy Lyles. Kate Tortora. We'd also like to honor one other person as part of this graduation ceremony. We're thrilled to present an honorary diploma to Linda Kovacs. Linda has been an absolutely instrumental supporter of our students. So just a little bit about Linda. So Linda, in addition to being an absolutely amazing supporter of all of our students, we stream and record all of our classes, and she was always there since day one, consistently tuning in to all of them. She's really felt like a part of our class, and it only felt right to have her alongside our students here today. I think Doug actually thought that she was a student in our first one. So Linda, thank you for joining us here today, and congratulations. So congratulations to the first cohort of Careers in Code. Does everyone have all the pictures they want? Good. Here's your opportunity. Okay, can we all look at Liz really quickly?
Can we do it outside?
We'll do it later. You may now all be seated. You may all be seated. Thank you. All right, so thank you everyone so much for coming out tonight. Really appreciate it. Quick reminder, all the instructors, teaching assistants, guest speakers, your thank you notes are up here. We're going to pull the table forward. And another huge thank you to Onondaga County and the Alliance for Economic Inclusion for making this program possible. This is insane. This is happening? So yeah, thank you again to everyone, and congratulations to the first cohort of Careers in Code students. Yeah, I think if I go to it,
It's so great. I didn't see a timer. I was just gonna go. Yeah, no, it's great.